Hey guys, Kyle Coggins here bringing you a movie review today, and we're going to be reviewing Transformers The Last Night. Let me start by saying I love Transformers 1. I thought Transformers 1 was one of those movies that you went into and you didn't know what to expect, and when you saw Optimus Prime transform for the first time, you're like, it was jaw-dropping. Number 2, I enjoyed number 2. It's one of those guilty pleasures of mine. I enjoyed it. It was stupid, don't get me wrong, but you know what I mean? And the robot balls and all that stuff, you know, whatever. The pyramids and all that stuff, I thought it was pretty. I thought it was entertaining. The third one, that movie pissed me off. Just Prime is in a wire for 45 minutes, and it's like you're this big machine, you're stuck in a wire, and all these, it's retarded. And the last one, oh my god, that movie is shit. Age of Extinction is so much shit. There's 3 movies I ever walked out of, and Age of Extinction is one of those movies, and I think I walked out 2 or 3 times. I was in Italy, and I think I walked out 2 or 3 times of that movie. I came back, I was like, you know, let me give it another chance, and it was like, whatever. This movie, The Last Night is crazy. Like, it is mind-boggling, and I'm not saying that in a good way. Like, this movie, it just keeps throwing you shit. It's just, wow, get a little bit of this, get a little bit of that, get a little bit of that, get a little bit of that, and more of this shit. It's just a big pile of just shit on top of shit on top of crap. Like, it's crazy, but I enjoyed myself. Like, but it makes absolutely no sense. Like, the movie asked a lot out of you. Like, you know, in the trailers, the King Arthur stuff, the Nazi stuff, the Cybertron stuff, the Unicron stuff, the Homatos, the Raven, like they just literally, like, when reports came out that, oh, Transformers 5, they got a writer's room, they got 20 writers in this room, and they're all bringing their ideas together to get the best script possible and all this stuff. I can see how this movie had 20 writers in this writer's room, because it's literally like, we want that idea. That idea is cool. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Bring it all here. They put all the ideas on a table, and they're like, shit. None of this how are we gonna make all this into a story? And they were like, hey, go get the seamstress over there and tell her to bring her sew kit over. And then she came over and she was like, oh, let me just sew all this together. And it's like they just took all these crazy stories and they just sewed it all together, and they're like, here you go. And they took a bunch of visuals and they masked this bad story with crazy action, and they're like, hey, focus on the action and just don't worry about the story too much. So I mean this movie is bananas. It's wild. It makes absolutely no sense. Like, when I say it makes no sense, I don't mean like you're in the movie like, so what's going on? Like, you know, you understand what's going on. Like, this is happening, and they're doing this to do this, do this, do this, but you don't care. It's like, and a part of the problem why you don't care is why the Transformers fails, and movies like, I hate to say this, but Fast and the Furious doesn't. Like, in the Fast and Furious franchise, it's stupid, it's dumb, the stories are ridiculous, but they made that you care about those characters to a degree. Like, they made you grow with these characters through their 45 movies. So some part of you has a connection, maybe small, but have a connection to those characters. So the drama and the action means something to a certain degree. In the Transformers films, you don't care about anybody. They don't try hard. In this movie especially, they don't try to make you care about anybody. Like, the only person in this franchise or film that you care about, I believe, is Bumblebee. And that harks back to the first one where Bumblebee can't talk, like, and you feel bad for him. It's like, man, like, so that is the only emotional connection that, and it's very small, that I have to these films, and I have to this movie, and Bumblebee is the forefront of this movie. Now, whatever you saw in the trailers, just forget about it. Like, just throw it to the side, because the trailers focus on stuff that takes up maybe, I don't even want to exaggerate, maybe 5 minutes of the film is taken up by what's in the trailers. Like, it's a complete lie. The trailers are a complete fabrication of what this movie's about. And take this as, this could be quantified as a spoiler. So if you want nothing, it's a Transformers movie. So if it is a spoiler, don't cry about it. Like, it's a Transformers movie. Like, what can you really spoil? Cybertron's coming. They're trying to stop Cybertron from coming. Like, so if you don't want any spoilers, just mute me for like 45 seconds. But, starting now. But Optimus Prime is on the cover. Like, he's there. Optimus Prime's not in this movie. Like, I can't lie about this. If I had to try to find a number of screen time that Optimus Prime is in this movie, the number that I keep harping on is probably 2.5 minutes. I think of screen time, like, yeah, you feel his presence, kind of, sort of, not really, but he's somewhere, but he's literally in the movie for like 2.5 minutes, like, that you can physically see him and count 1, 2, 3, probably 2.5 minutes. And this movie, I think, is 2.5 hours. So, but, okay, spoilers over, you can come back. But the movie focuses on Bumblebee, and I enjoyed that because I at least have some type of emotional connection to Bumblebee, and they're trying really hard to push that Bumblebee movie in this movie, which that harks back to the Nazi stuff, and it's ridiculous. But I mean, it sounds like I'm trashing the movie, which I am. But one thing from this movie that kept me engaged was the visuals. Oh my God, Michael Bay, if he does one thing, and I like Michael Bay, I like 13 Hours, I like Pain and Gain, even though I disagree on how Pain and Gain was made. If you go read the story, it's Michael Bay's kind of a piece of shit for how he made that movie, whatever. But I like Pain and Gain, 13 Hours, The Rock, Transformers 1, I love Armageddon. I think it's a bad movie, but I love Armageddon, Bad Boys, like. But it's just Michael Bay. He can't tell, with these movies. He can't tell a story. Like, it's ridiculous. But the visuals, what he does, and my brother told me this today, was that him and Zack Snyder went to the same film school, and I totally see that. Like, these guys only harp on visuals, and they kind of just bypass the story, which I think is both of their faults. But back to this movie, the visuals are phenomenal. I believe, and maybe it's because I walked out of the movie not even 30 minutes ago, but this might be a top 5 visually stunning movie. Like, the visuals are crazy. And one thing that I hark back to Transformers 2 through 4 is that whenever Transformers were fighting and stuff, I didn't know what was going on. Like, I can't tell if a fist is punching a hip or a leg is kicking a face. Like, I have no idea what's going on. But in this movie, the way that he does, mostly at the beginning of the movie, and the ending is a little, with the fighting sequence. Well, there really is no fighting sequence. Whatever. If you guys are looking for this, there might be a couple spoilers in this, but it's a Transformers movie. Just remember that, okay? I don't think you go in thinking, oh my God, there's going to be a twist. No, there's no twist, so whatever. But when they're fighting and all that stuff like that, like, I can tell what's happening now. And mostly because maybe he uses slow motion a little much, but it works for this type of film, so that doesn't really bother me. But the visuals were crazy. At the end, with Cybertron, you saw it in the trailer with Cybertron, and all this stuff with the planes going through, and the land, and that stuff looks phenomenal. I thought the sound mixing was great with the the sounds and the score. I thought the score, even though you didn't care about anybody, but the dramatic element that the score gave you, I thought that was really cool. And that kept me, the visuals and the sound kept me engaged in this crap piece of a story. But the humor, oh my god, I just wanna. The humor was cheesy. Like, it was just. I mean, there's a bunch of one-liners, and it just. Like, the world is ending. That's the whole premise of this movie. Like, there's a world-ending world coming, and some of the, like, I understand you gotta keep upbeat, but it's just, some of this humor was cheesy. The scenes, like, there's one particular scene, when you watch it, it kind of reminds me of how they opened up Suicide Squad, to be honest. But I have no idea why that was there. It's this Megatron segment, and it's like, wait, I don't understand what that had anything to do with anything. I thought it was stupid. The action, going back to the story, the action looked cool, but it was pointless action. Like, why is this happening? Like, why are you fighting, and why are you blowing that up? Like, are you truly trying to mask the story? Like, it just, nothing makes sense in this movie. You don't care about anybody, and that's the problem. Like, the humans and the robots, they need to make you care about the Transformers, and stop trying to push Mark Wahlberg and all these. This beautiful actress is playing she's playing a professor at Oxford. Like, I think she's a physicist or something like that, and I don't believe that. You're crazy if you want me to believe that. The little girl in the trailers, like, they had this marketing push with her, like, saying, like, I want to stand, I want to fight. Yeah, I fight like a girl. Yeah, I do this. Like, why was she in the movie? Hopefully, if you do see the movie, you're gonna be like, wait, why is she in the movie? They could have took this 2.5-hour movie and stripped it. That might be a spoiler too, but whatever. But she has no place in this movie. The hugest gripe that I have in all the Transformers movies is the underusage of Megatron. You have Megatron, who is the most popular villain, and they always underuse him, and don't expect to get this, yeah, finally they got Megatron. This, no, stop it. Optimus Prime, we already talked about Optimus Prime and the spoilers, and the title of this movie, The Last Night. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to when you understand why they call this movie The Last Night. Like, it is priceless. And I'm saying that in the most hateful way ever. Like, when you find out who The Last Night is, you're going to be like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, this is ridiculous. And I know a lot of people out there are going to be like, yeah, The Last Night. But for the majority of people, you're going to be like, are you serious right now? I thought this was a Transformers movie. But I think I covered everything I liked, which was sound, visuals, and Bumblebee. Everything I didn't like, which the story was horrendous, these pointless scenes, the humor, the pointless action, the characters we don't care about, characters we don't know. I don't even know that half of these Transformers were introduced. It's just Prime, Megatron, the title. Just, this movie is abysmal, but I enjoyed myself. So I can't sit here and be like, oh, I give it a 2. Because when I walked out the movie, I wasn't pissed. Like, it's literally stupid fun. You walk into this movie, I had zero expectations because of what I came out of in Transformers 4. So I literally took my mind and I put it next to me. And I was like, let's watch this movie, brain. And I ignored my brain the whole time. So if I could only say, if you enjoy Transformers movies, which if you had any sense, you would probably say, okay, they're not well-made movies, but I can enjoy myself, which is okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. For everyone at their own. But for people that enjoyed the Transformers 2, 3, and 4, you're going to enjoy the movie. You're going to be like, this makes no sense, but you're going to enjoy the movie. For people that hate Transformers, like my best pal, you're not gonna stand this movie. This is gonna piss you off, so you might as well just stay home. But if I had to give it a score, I'd probably say a 4 or a 5. I only go to a 5 because I give Ghost in the Shell a 5, which I probably should. I probably should have given Ghost in the Shell a 3, but because I'm waging on that scale, I would say a 5, a 4 or 5, but I'm probably going to start a new way of grading right now, so I give Transformers a 4.5 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching this. I hope this wasn't like a crazy rant, but I hope you found something out of this. But the visuals, crazy. It's a spectacle, but it's the stupidest shit you ever watched. But I appreciate you guys. Thanks.